mentioned a lot of things of going overseas. What does that look like of international security versus domestic?
For us, regular people, I ran the FBI's overseas survival program. I spent my life doing travel assessments and trainings for folks. There's some places you don't need to go right now. And that's one of the very first questions yourself is, where are we going, and do I need to go there now? Keep a low profile. You are an American. Everyone knows that. Don't wear all the stuff, New York Yankee hat, all that iconography, ordering ranch dressing. Just try to keep a low profile. Don't draw attention to yourself. Understand that you're rich. Leave the Rolex at home. Pay attention to your transitions. Have a plan from the airport to the hotel. Don't just get into the car with the guy that looks friendly, because that's where they'll spot you. What's your comm plan? A lot of people just think, oh, my cell phone will work when I get there. Well, what's your backup? Because that ain't it. Every time I go overseas, I'll have some type of phone issue. So have you ever thought about buying a local phone? Who do you call? What assets are available to you in country? Usually the embassy, but are they any good? Probably, but check it out. But have a real plan already thought out before you do it, and then pay attention to what you're doing. I think a lot of people put themselves in tricky situations by their own behavior. I'm sorry, but if you go to a bar overseas or even in the U.S., things can happen to you, period. Because you talk about situational awareness. Well, how do you crush your situational awareness? Get drunk. You forget it. You're not going to have any. Am I saying don't drink? Yeah, probably. Or at least have one and pay attention to what the hell you're doing.
Right. It just goes back to being alert and being sober-minded. As soon as you lower those inhibitions, then you're immediately at a deficit. And I think it's interesting, too, how often it's going to other countries and still operating on the same foundations that you have here in the United States, but you go to another country and it's completely different. And like you're saying, to blend in and not go against the grain and make yourself stand out, then you have to figure out how to adjust really quick and become a local right away, which takes a lot of humility. Again, back to your point of humility, it takes a lot of humility to be able to do that.
Right. And how many people, learn any of the language at all? I can't believe how little people, you go to overseas, you go to Europe, and those people speak 5, 6 languages. In America, you'd be lucky to find somebody that speaks 2. It's just we're so caught up in, I hope they speak English. I hope they speak English. Well, why didn't you learn 5 French words, like airport, please, embassy, help. Those are some good words to know. Let's take it from the executive protection side. I think a lot of clients will say things like, well, I'm just going to so-and-so, I'm not rich. Well, you are. You make more than $40,000 a year in this anywhere, you're like 1% of the world. You could be targeted just because you're a wealthy American, period. They don't even know that you're so-and-so celebrity or client, whatever name. Every environment can be dangerous, right? Some countries are more dangerous than others, but you can make it more dangerous by your activity. So you want to go somewhere that's relatively quote unquote safe. But then you want to do something stupid, like super risky, go to a bad area at 3 a.m. and, do something dumb. Well, that's going to elevate your risk profile. So it's not just about the country you're going to, it's the behavior that you're going to be involved in when you get there, creating a lot of risk for yourself that, really doesn't, have anything to do with the country you're going to. It's just your lifestyle and what you're doing. So that's a big part of it. And then the other thing is just understanding how do I get you in and out? That's the big one. If you think about Israel and what happened, October 7th, when you couldn't get in and out of Israel, you could not fly in or out. What are you going to do? We have protectees in that country. What do? You take them you literally drive to another country and put them on a plane. But you got to have a plan.